For the introduction, in the context of business, execution refers to how well a firm implements the strategies that executive create for. This involves the creation of operation of both organizational structure with an aligned organizational control process. Organizational structure is also important to achieving a firm's strategic goals. Which type of structures are deployed by firms? What control system are used by firms?
So first, what is organizational design definition? To start with a technical definition, organizational design is the administration and execution of an organization's strategic plan. This means that the organization strategy determines the optimal organizational design. In addition, it also means that there aren't really any organizational design best practice. Organizational design is more about creating the best fit between the strategic choices of the organization and the organizational setting. Organizational design is determined by the strategic direction of the company, aka the vision, mission, and the goals of the company, competes on which are enabled through the organizational design. For example, Company A operates in an established market and is looking to maintain its position. This company will have a low-cost leadership strategy focused on efficiency. In terms of organizational design, this company will have a strong centralized authority, tight control, and many standard operating procedures. Company B is an innovative and fast-growing organization that emphasizes learning. This company will have a more fluid and flexible design, a much more decentralized structure, loose control, employees are working directly with customers and are rewarded for creativity and risk-taking. In Company A, risk-taking and failing are punished, while in Company B, it is much more likely to be rewarded, evaluated, and learnings from the failed project will be used as a stepping stone for a new project.
And now, let's proceed to the basic building blocks of organizational structure. First, division of labor. Division of labor coordinates different tasks in the people who perform them. Creating a structure that effectively coordinates a firm's activities increases the firm's likelihood of success. Organizational charts show how firm structures are built using two basic building blocks, which is vertical linkages and horizontal linkages. These linkages show the lines of responsibility through which a supervisor delegates authority to subordinates, oversees their activities, evaluate their performance, and guide them towards improvement. Next, informal linkages. Informal linkages do not appear in organizational chart, but they can have a significant influence on how firms operate. And lastly, unity of command. Employees may receive a conflicting guidance about how to do their job if they work in a situation where multiple bosses are present. This problem can be avoided by following unity of command principles, which state that employees should only report directly to one supervisor. Unity of command also helps organizations to avoid such confusion.
Within most firms, executives rely on a vertical and horizontal linkage to create the structures that they hope will match the needs of their firm's strategy. The four types of structures are the following. The first one is the functional structures. Using a functional structure creates advantages and disadvantages. An important benefit of adopting a functional structure is that each person tends to learn a great deal about his and her particular function. A specific functional department that appear in an organizational chart vary across organizations that use functional structures, such as marketing, production, human resources, information technology, and customer service. The second one is the multi-divisional structures. In this type of the structures, employees are divided into departments based on product areas or geographic regions. A big advantage of multi-divisional structure is that it allows a firm to act quickly. Of course, empowering division to act quickly can backfire if people in those divisions take actions that do not fit with the company's overall strategy. And the third one is the matrix structures. Using a matrix structures can create difficulties too. One concern is that the matrix structures violates the unity of command principle because each employee is assigned multiple bosses. A matrix structures can also help develop managers. And the last one is the boundaryless organizations. Most organizational charts show clear divisions and boundaries between different units. A boundaryless organization is one that removes the usual barriers between parts of the organization as well as barriers between the organizations and others. Boundaryless organizations work best in knowledge industries such as information technology and communication firms.
Organizational control system allows executives to track how well the organization is performing, identify areas of concern, and then take action to address the concern. These are the three basic types of control system are available to executives. Number one is output control, number two is behavioral control, and number three is clan control. Different organizations emphasize different types of control, but most organizations use a mix of all three types. First is output control, focuses on measurable results within an organization. Example from the business world include the number of hits a website receives per day, the number of microwave ovens and assembly line procedures per week, and the number of the vehicle a car salesperson sell per month. While output control focuses on result, behavioral control focuses on controlling the action that ultimately leads to result. In particular, various rules and procedures are used to standardize or to dictate behavior. Is behavioral control. Behavioral control in the most state, for example, signs are posted in restaurant bathrooms reminding employees that they must wash their hands before turning to work. Instead of measuring result as in outcome control or dictating behavior, clan control is an informal type of control. Especially, clan control relies on shared tradition, expectation, values, and norms to lead people to work towards the good of their organization. Clan control is often used heavily in settings where creativity is vital, such as many high-tech businesses. In these companies, output is thought to dictate and many rules are not appropriate. Next topic is the legal form. The legal form, a firm chooses to operate under in an important decision with implication for how a firm structures its resources and assets. Several legal forms or businesses are available to entrepreneurial business owners. Each involve a different approach to dealing with profits and losses. These are three basic forms of business. First is a sole proprietorship. Is a firm that is owned by one person. From a legal perspective, the firm and its owner are considered one and the same. On the plus side, this means that all profits are the property of the owner after taxes are paid, of course. On the minus side, however, the owner is personally responsible for the firm losses and debt. This presents tremendous risk if a sole proprietor is on the losing end of a significant lawsuit. For example, the owner could find his personal asset. Most sole proprietorships are small and many have no employees. In the most towns, for example, there are three number of self-employed repair people, plumbers, and electricians who work alone on home repair jobs. Also, many sole proprietors run their businesses from their homes to avoid expenses associated with opening an office. Other example is Sari store. The next is in a partnership. Partnership, two or more partners share ownership of a firm is similar to a sole proprietorship in that the partners are the only beneficiaries of the firm profits, but they are also responsible for any losses and debt. Partnership can be especially attractive if each person's expertise complements the others. For example, an accountant who is specialized in preparing individual tax returns and another who has mastered business taxes might choose to join forces to offer customer a more complete set of taxes services than either could offer alone. From a particular standpoint, a partnership allows a person to take time off without closing down the business as temporary. In a partnership of two home builders, if one were to suffer a serious injury, the other partner could take over supervising his or her partner project. Next is the corporation. A corporation is one hand and a sole proprietorship and a partnership on the other is the corporation involves the separation of ownership and management. Corporations sell shares of ownership.
So the next one is conclusion. Every organization needs a structure in order to operate systematically. The organizational structure can be used by any organization if the structure fits into the nature and maturity of the organization. The conclusion pulls together the different strands of the argument. First, the conclusion provides a brief review how design thinking, at least in theory, can create pathways for organizational transition.